Are you a retiree wondering if you're eligible for extra financial support that could be landing in your account very soon? With the cost of living continuing to climb and many seniors struggling to make ends meet on fixed incomes, there's important news breaking right now about final stimulus deposits specifically designed to help retirees. If you're over 62 or know someone who is, you absolutely need to hear this information because missing out on these payments could mean leaving hundreds or even thousands of dollars on the table. The clock is ticking, and understanding your eligibility could make a real difference in your financial situation this year. Now let's talk about what's really happening with these final stimulus deposits for retirees. The federal government and various state programs have been working to provide additional financial relief to seniors who have been hit particularly hard by inflation over the past few years. While the large-scale stimulus payments that many Americans received during the pandemic have ended, there are still several targeted programs and final disbursements that retirees need to know about. These aren't the widely publicized checks that made headlines a few years ago, but rather specialized payments that many eligible seniors don't even realize they qualify for. The first thing you need to understand is that these payments are coming from multiple sources, and eligibility varies depending on your specific situation. Some retirees will receive federal payments, others will get state-level support, and some may even qualify for both. The federal government has allocated funds for seniors through various programs including supplemental Social Security payments, special one-time adjustments, and retroactive benefits for those who were underpaid in previous years. Are you someone who started collecting Social Security recently? Have you noticed any discrepancies in your monthly payments? These could be signs that you're owed back payments that are part of these final deposits. State governments have also stepped up with their own relief programs for retirees. California, for example, has been issuing middle-class tax refunds and other stimulus payments to eligible residents, including many seniors living on fixed incomes. Florida has programs specifically targeting elderly residents who need help with property tax relief and cost of living adjustments. New York, Pennsylvania, and several other states have created their own versions of senior stimulus programs. The key question is, do you know which state programs you might qualify for? Many retirees miss out simply because they don't know these programs exist or they assume they don't qualify without actually checking. The Social Security Administration has also been processing a significant number of corrections and adjustments. Over the past year, they've identified thousands of cases where beneficiaries were underpaid due to calculation errors, missing earnings records, or other administrative issues. If you fall into this category, you could be receiving a substantial lump sum payment that represents months or even years of back benefits. These aren't new stimulus checks in the traditional sense, but they're absolutely money that belongs to you and will be deposited soon if you haven't received it already. Let me break down the typical amounts we're seeing with these final deposits. For federal Social Security corrections and adjustments, payments can range anywhere from a few $100s to several thousand, depending on how long the underpayment occurred and what your monthly benefit amount is. State stimulus programs for seniors typically range from $200 to $1,500, though some states are offering even more generous amounts for their lowest-income retirees. Special federal programs aimed at veterans who are also retirees can add even more to these totals. Have you checked your bank account lately for any unexpected deposits? Have you received any letters from the Social Security Administration or your state's revenue department? The timeline for these payments is what makes this particularly urgent right now. Many of these final deposits are scheduled to go out before the end of the year, with the bulk of payments happening in the next several weeks. The Social Security Administration processes most of their correction payments on a rolling basis, meaning they send them out as soon as each case is resolved. State programs often have specific payment windows, and if you don't verify your eligibility and submit any required information before the deadline, you could miss out entirely. Some states have already started sending their final rounds of senior stimulus payments, while others are just beginning the process. So how do you know if you're eligible for any of these payments? Start by reviewing your Social Security statements carefully. Look for any notices from the SSA about payment adjustments or corrections. If you've received a letter mentioning a review of your benefits or a calculation adjustment, that's a strong indicator that a payment may be coming. For state programs, you'll need to check your specific state's Department of Revenue or Treasury website. Most states have dedicated pages explaining their senior relief programs, eligibility requirements, and payment schedules. Are you enrolled in programs like supplemental security income or extra help for prescription drugs? These programs can sometimes make you automatically eligible for additional payments. Income thresholds are crucial for many of these programs. Most state stimulus payments for seniors have income limits, typically targeting those who earn less than a certain amount per year from all sources including Social Security, pensions, and investment income. The exact threshold varies by state, but many programs aim to help seniors whose total annual income is below $50,000 to $75,000. Some programs have even higher limits or use different criteria entirely. Federal Social Security corrections don't have income limits because they're simply paying you what you were already owed, but other federal programs might. What should you do right now to ensure you don't miss out? First, log into your My Social Security account online if you have one, or create an account if you don't. This is the fastest way to see your payment history, check for any pending adjustments, and verify that the SSA has your correct direct deposit information. If you receive Social Security payments by paper check instead of direct deposit, consider switching to electronic payments because they're faster, more secure, and won't get lost in the mail. Second, visit your state government's website and search for senior stimulus programs, elderly relief payments, or property tax rebates. Many states bundle multiple benefits together, so you might qualify for more than you think. Have you filed your taxes for the most recent year? This is important because many state stimulus programs use tax returns to determine eligibility and calculate payment amounts. If you're required to file but haven't done so, you could be delaying or completely missing out on payments you're entitled to receive. Even if your income is below the filing threshold, filing a return can sometimes trigger eligibility for certain benefits. The IRS and state tax agencies share information with benefit programs, and being in their system can help ensure you receive everything you qualify for. Direct deposit information is another critical factor. Make sure the Social Security Administration and your state government have your current bank account details on file. Payments sent to closed accounts or incorrect routing numbers can be delayed by weeks or even months while the issue gets resolved. If you've changed banks recently or updated your account, double-check that all agencies have the new information. Paper checks can also be issued, but they take longer and create additional opportunities for problems. For those who think they might be owed back payments from Social Security, you can request a manual review of your earnings record and benefit calculation. This involves contacting the SSA directly, either by phone or by visiting your local Social Security office. Bring documentation of your work history, previous pay stubs if you have them, and any correspondence you've received about your benefits. The SSA representatives can look into your account and determine if any corrections are needed. Is it worth the effort? Absolutely, especially if we're talking about potentially thousands of dollars in back benefits. Veterans should also check with the Department of Veterans Affairs about any additional payments or benefits they might qualify for. Some veteran-specific stimulus programs have been running parallel to civilian programs, and military retirees may be eligible for both sets of benefits depending on their circumstances. The VA has been working to identify veterans who are underpaid or who qualify for new benefit categories, and they've been sending out notifications and payments accordingly.